Better do something, boy, don't do nothing. Better do something, boy, don't do nothing. Better do something, boy, don't do nothing. Better do something, boy, don't do nothing.
Is today the 16th?
I think today is it's the 16th, yeah.
All right.
So, you want to lead us off?
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Pennant podcast. It is Friday, September 16th in beautiful, historic, scenic Ottawa, Ontario.
Yes, O-Town.
And I'm Alex. I'm here, as always, with Peter.
Yes, I'm Peter. Hi. And yeah, I guess let's just get right off to it. If you saw, unless you've been literally living under a rock with no internet access and no ability to communicate, you probably know that last Thursday, I think, was it September the 8th, I believe? Yeah, it was September the 8th. The Queen Elizabeth II died, and this past week has been a week of mourning, a 10-day mourning period. Her funeral service will be on Monday, September the 19th at 6 a.m. Ottawa Eastern Standard Time, which is roughly 11 a.m. UK time, I guess.
Yep.
Give
Yeah,
or
it's
take.
+5.
Yeah. So the world has kind of been in a state of mourning. There have been ceremonies, processions. They brought her coffin from Balmoral Castle to the legislature, not the legislature, but a cathedral in Scotland where she's lying in state there. And then they brought her back to London, and the procession has just been crazy. After this video, just look up on YouTube videos of the fucking funeral procession. People have been waiting for hours. When the line first started on I think it was Wednesday or something, it was 2.8 miles long from Westminster Church all the way down the Thames to the London Bridge, and it's crazy. If you look at the satellite footage, people waiting for 13 hours, because 24 hours a day they have people filing in and out, people flying in from out of the country just to walk by her coffin. So it's a lot. So in Canada, meanwhile, a debate began over whether or not to declare Monday a holiday. So Trudeau federally has declared Monday, September 19th, a federal holiday. But a lot of the provinces, most of them, have said they won't follow suit. So Ontario and Quebec have both said they'll not have a public holiday, but Ontario will have a day of mourning. And basically, Doug Ford got a lot of, I guess he got hate from both the anti-monarchists and the pro-monarchists, right? Because the monarchists want a day off for the Queen, and the anti-monarchists just want a day off from work.
Yeah, but his core constituency,
business,
theoretically, small business.
Yeah, the business association was saying it would cost the economy billions of dollars.
Well, we've already lost so much time already this year to other stuff.
Exactly.
TM.
Yeah.
So another public holiday at this point is probably not justified. You can see the argument, but
yeah,
it is at the same time
you can make the
our
argument
sovereign
worse.
of 70 years
Yes.
passing away.
People saying, "Oh, are we going to do this for every monarch that dies?" And I'm like, where have you been for the past 70 years?
So okay, I'm going to interject here quickly.
Yeah.
I saw an article that purported to list who was invited to the funeral and who wasn't, right?
Yes.
And most state
World
leaders
leaders
are invited, including
Biden,
Bolsonaro.
Trudeau, yeah.
Although, Putin obviously not there.
Well, Putin, I don't know if Putin was invited, but Moscow, the Kremlin said that he is not going. They're going to send a delegate or something.
I don't think that the British government is going to allow this delegate in, personally.
Wait, really?
I could be wrong. We need to fact check this,
Yeah,
I
we can
guess.
fact check
But
this
I
in real
believe
time.
the British government was just no. Which makes sense because, Liz Truss is, she definitely has, the Ukrainian flag on her shield, so to speak. Mm-hmm. The UK government has been pretty clear about which side of this conflict they're on.
So I Googled it. Articles coming up, the Moscow Times. Russia decries immoral Queen Elizabeth II funeral snub.
Yeah, there you go.
Britain snub of Russia for Queen's funeral, deeply immoral. So
yeah. So from the perspective of Russia as a historically great European empire, it is a
Yeah.
real snub, and it's kind of insulting when you consider, like, you know, Nicholas II and Queen Victoria and
they're
everyone,
literally
they were like
related.
related.
Yeah.
But obviously, given the current climate, it probably makes sense to exclude Russia, and especially given the FSB's track record poisoning people in the UK,
Yeah.
which they've done many times. Probably best just...
I'll read a bit of what this statement says. Russia's foreign ministry condemned London for what it called a deeply immoral use of a national tragedy for geopolitical goals amid the lowest point in Russian-British relations since the Cold War. In a statement published on its website, the foreign ministry accused Britain of making divisive statements in furtherance of its opportunistic aim. The ministry invoked the memory of World War II, praising Queen Elizabeth II for serving in the British Army, while accusing the British elites of siding with what Moscow refers to as Ukrainian 1930s and 40s German soldiers.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Well, a political party of that period.
Yes.
Yes. We can call them Banderites. I don't think the YouTube algorithm is going to get offended about that.
Yeah.
Russia is decrying Banderaism as they do.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever. That is what it is, and it's not necessarily completely without reason.
Do you think politically, would it be, if you're the prime minister, if you're Liz Truss, would it be worth the political fallout to include the Russians, even if that is the right thing to do?
No. The safe thing to do is not include the Russians. And I say this one as someone who honestly is still to this day pro-dialogue. You know, people could probably accuse me, if anything, of being a little bit dovish on the whole Eastern European issue.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this as like a Russophobic hardliner or anything, but like I think the easy decision here and the obvious decision, the safe decision, is for Liz Truss to shut the door.
Yeah.
The surprise for me is that, you know, Bolsonaro and so on are invited. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be. I'm just saying I'm surprised.
Bolsonaro, he went off. He did like 3 days of national mourning for the Queen.
That's intense for Brazil.
And they have
That's
no
more than us.
colonial relationship whatsoever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Anyway.
No, he did I forget exactly the details of his statement, but it was a very affectionate statement for the Queen, you know? So, yeah, they're in Britain, the UK's good graces.
But suffice to say, I bring up this article about who's invited and who's not, because for me, they buried the headline, which was, this is the first state funeral in 60 years.
Yes.
So that's what, Churchill?
Yes. Churchill was the last one.
The Queen Mother did not get a state funeral.
No.
Baroness Thatcher did not get a state funeral.
Prince Philip didn't get one.
Prince Philip didn't get a state funeral.
No.
Princess Margaret did not get a state funeral.
Yeah.
Lady Di did not get a state funeral.
No.
Jack Layton got a state funeral.
Yeah.
He wasn't even PM. So why is Canada having more state funerals than the UK? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Why has it been 60 years, and why have senior members of the royal family, including the Duke of Edinburgh, the Queen Mother, did not have a state funeral? Like, what's going on?
I'm going to risk looking ridiculous here, but I'm putting on these earbuds.
Yeah, it's chilly.
It's actually chilly. Cold. Okay, I've got gloves on. Don't make fun of me, okay? But we're sitting in the middle of a field, so there's not much wind cover, but this is Canada,
It was actually warm and nice earlier today.
Yeah.
Like, I was a little hot in long pants and a t-shirt, and at this point I'm layered up. We're in the shade. I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So yeah, the invite list was interesting. There's a lot to go over, so forgive me for lack of professionalism from looking down at my phone, but there's a debate over the public holiday. Yeah, I wanted to mention that because it's like, I don't know. Like, what do you think about the public holiday thing? Because I think since the event that has happened in the past couple of years, kids have missed so much school, people have missed so much work. Why not one day for the Queen? It only happens once every fucking 70 years.
Well, I will say this. My mom kept me home from kindergarten to watch Pierre Elliott Trudeau's funeral. So I got to see Castro and JT on TV. And I was always very grateful for that.
Obama's inauguration.
There you go.
Yeah.
And honestly, I skipped school to watch the royal wedding. So
yeah. I think these kids should. I guess there's a debate, right? Because I was having this conversation with my mother, and she was like, you know, there's this argument that like we shouldn't have like Remembrance Day off or Truth and Reconciliation Day off, because these days kids should be in school so that they could reflect. Versus staying at home and playing video
Fortnite,
games, which is what most of them are going to do. You know what I mean? So
or
I could
scrolling TikTok or whatever.
So I could see that argument, I guess, but I don't know. I like the idea of a national holiday where even if you're not physically sitting in front of the TV to watch the funeral, even a day to reflect with your own family, like Family Day. It's the one thing that McGinty did.
Yeah.
That I'm like, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, you know what the secret sauce of Family Day is? Valentine's Day is not a public holiday. So February had nothing.
Damn, okay. Whereas September this year, if we did get a holiday for the Queen, it would have been the third one after Labor Day and before the Truth and Reconciliation Day. So, yeah. So, I could see both sides. Obviously, as like, you know, the royal correspondent on this channel, I'm in favor of it, but you know, I guess it is what it is.
The fiscally conservative argument, though, which is also kind of the lockdown skeptical argument, you might say, as you said, it's the kids have already missed so many days of school. Businesses have already been shut down so many days this year. Do we really need another day? But the thing is, because it's only a federal holiday, it's actually only
federal workers
or paid by the taxpayer who get the day off. So the taxpayer goes to work and the rent collector does not.
Yeah, that's the irony.
So the optics there are classic Liberal Party.
Yes. Basically, they gave a day off to themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Who did the majority
so good
of
job, guys.
Servants vote for?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Bingo, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus the people who actually own and run these businesses that cater to them.
Yeah, pay their salaries. Yeah. Also, this is tangentially related, and I do not mean to derail the royal talk, but I recently saw released figures apparently that indicate that 86 to 90% of the jobs created in 2020, 2021 were public sector.
Oh, really?
So we're creating 9 public sector jobs for every 1 private sector job.
Yeah.
And now we're giving the public sector guys a day off that no one in the private sector is getting.
Yeah.
That looks kind of bad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And again, I say this as someone who under normal circumstances would be sympathetic to the idea of having the day of the funeral off so people can watch it and reflect with their families and stuff. But I just think because of the current climate, it's not the call. Personally.
So it should have been everyone or no one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I get that. So then also there is the Stephen Lecce thing. And I got to pull up this article because it's just, I sent you some like screenshots of it, I think. And like literally it's just, I don't know what this school was thinking. So basically the Minister of Education in Ontario, Stephen, how do you read
Lecce?
Lecce, that's how they pronounce it?
We said it like 6 different ways on
Lecce,
the last time.
Basically, public school teachers in York region are being told to avoid, by the school board, any memorials to tributes to Queen Elizabeth II in their classrooms because the subject is thought to be very triggering. And the Ford government wants the policy scrapped immediately. They sent a memo to their schools in that region instructing on staff on how to handle student inquiries. And it said that the schools should remain neutral environments and that discussions surrounding the Queen's death are not encouraged because it can remind students of personal losses they may have experienced. Also, so they request that school staff refrain from developing tributes or activities to memorialize the death of the Queen, as well as displaying objects associated with the Queen. And they say that the death is triggering, you know, because of colonialism and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of bullshit.
If hypothetically, and God forbid, but hypothetically, if JT were to drop dead of natural causes tomorrow, would we be having the same conversation?
No, 100% not.
And yet, who has had a more direct influence on the history and policy of this country?
Yeah, at least not people in the media or its teachers would be having this conversation. So anyways, the education minister, Stephen Lecce, ordered the school board to overturn the policy and honor the Queen on the date of your funeral. We have made clear our direction that all schools are to recognize the profound impact of Queen Elizabeth II's lifelong and unwavering devotion to public service. So basically, he went full bass trad.
Yep. He went full Tory with a capital T.
Yes. He's directed this board to implement the promise's expectation, honor the Queen on the date of her funeral, and enrich the students with a strong understanding of the values and enduring legacy of Canada's constitutional democracy. So what do you think about this right-wing, this far-right turn from our formerly limp-wristed education minister who a year ago couldn't even keep schools open?
Who was trying to ditch his portfolio.
Because he was so pussy-whipped by the fucking teachers union.
He was so terrified of the teachers unions carpet bombing his riding.
Yeah.
So he just wanted to get the hell out of there, but he held the course.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think we picked up fairly early on that there's definitely seems to be a little bit of running for leader here.
Yeah, a Lecce
Lecce definitely seems like he's establishing himself as a future leadership candidate, as a respectably center-right Tory. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call him true blue, but
trad.
I definitely wouldn't call Aaron O'Toole true blue, even though Aaron O'Toole would. So it's all relative, but it's about as true blue as you're allowed to be in the modern PC party without getting kicked out.
Yeah, imagine
in Ontario.
telling teachers to do your job is like a conservative trad right-wing position.
Well, is even honoring the head of state like a conservative trad thing? I guess it kind of is, but like, again, that gets into the whole question of, you know, should we have a state at all, and blah blah blah. And the issue is like,
well, that's the thing. It's the one time when I've seen conservatives applaud Justin Trudeau for any statement he made.
Yeah.
Which is when he made his statement on the Queen passing.
Yeah, I was very kind to him.
Like, it's the one time that both sides, both the NDP, the Libs, and Conservatives, all gathered in Parliament yesterday to basically be like, yeah, you know, long live the Queen, and then the Bloc kind of, you know, walked out. But you know what I mean? It's like the mainstream non-separatist fringe parties. It's the one time where they're all on the same page, and it's weird. People aren't used to this.
Yeah.
So then when stories like the school board comes up, it's like, yes, we found something, you know what I mean?
We found a little wedge.
Or that woman who got into it with Bezos talking about, you know,
yes.
I wish she had a painful death or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, those people in particular can't stand any sort of societal cohesion or unity. At the mere whiff of any sort of social cohesion, they have to be like, well, actually, those are the well, actually society. We can't have anything.
Yeah.
Those are the people who, you know, when 9/11 happened, they'd be like, well, actually, this many people die in Africa every year, I do say. You know what I mean? Like,
which, I mean, like, fair, true.
Because I've seen people make those comments during 9/11 tributes where they're like, well, more people died in Iraq than whatever. And like, good point, but the whole thing is about timing, which people don't understand. Time and place. Like, I'm not saying you can't make jokes, you can't protest, but like, I don't know, man. I'm old school sometimes. Have you heard the verse? There's a song from the Byrds. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to reap, a time to sow, you know? There's a time to mourn.
Yeah.
And it's like, can't you hold your hot takes for like a week? For 10 days?
Yeah.
Can't you put a moratorium? And I'm not a censorious person. I'm not saying that you should be banned off of social media for any hot takes, because I'm against that as well. But like, out of the goodness of your own heart, can't we mourn the Queen for 10 fucking days?
Yeah.
Without making
you know,
it
you don't have to do it actively if it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe just don't dabble in people.
Can't we mourn
just for now,
you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. So, I don't know. What do you think about this Lecce thing? Like,
I mean, he's positioning himself to run for leader, and we're early on it.
Yes. We're
honestly.
Gonna do next episode. We keep on saying this. I think next episode we will do the definitive Ontario Tory leadership power ranking, similar to the Liberal one that we have on the website.
That's right. The Liberal one that I might have to redo if Christina Freeland indeed runs for the Secretary General of NATO.
Wait, that's her real name?
Yeah, her name is Christina Alexandra.
Oh, damn.
And Christia is just a nickname.
Interesting. It's almost
Yep.
like she made it sound more ethnic sounding.
Yeah,
She pulled a Barry Obama.
Yeah. Or a little Irish Joe Biden riding around on his magic shillelagh. You know.
So, as we digress, so more